So the first thing I'm going to do is graph. Clearly, we're going to talk about domain and range later, and then the intercepts in relation to the context of the question. So it says the function d of t equals 9 minus 7t gives your distance d in miles from home, t hours after you leave the library. So the first thing it's asking us to do is graph it. So we're going to hit the click to enlarge the graph button. I am going to write the function d of t is equal to negative 7t plus 9. Reason being, because now it's slope-intercept form, and that's how I'm going to graph it over here. That's a line. It has a y-intercept of 9 and a slope of negative 7. So it means I'm going to go down 7 and then right 1. Okay, so that's my function. Hit save. Let's erase what I wrote. And we'll check our answer on that. Okay, so that part's good. It says the domain for d of t in this context is, well, what that means is, the domain of the line would be all real numbers. However, in this case, in this context, you have to stay in the first quadrant, meaning I can't go negative for the x value because, or in this case, the t value, because time can't be negative. And then your d value, your distance from home, right, can't be negative. Once your distance from home equals 0, that means you arrived at home. So that's when it says in context, that's what it's talking about. So the domain of this point here, let me highlight it. Domain of this point up here, or the x value of that point is 0, and then we need to figure out what is the x point here, or in this, I'm sorry, the t value there. The t value, well, that is your x-intercept. So I'm sorry, your t-intercept. So that is where your d value is 0. So if I write that out, I have 0 is equal to 9 minus 7t. I need to solve that for t to figure out what is the t value of that point. I'm going to add 7t to both sides. I get 9, then I'm going to divide both sides by 7, and I get t is equal to 9/7. Okay, so the x value at the first point is 0. The x value at this point is 9/7. The x value has to be somewhere between 0 and 9/7. So the domain is going to be the compound inequality of 0 is less than or equal to t. Again, the directions are saying to use t as the variable in the compound inequality. And then less than or equal to, it does also say in the directions to use a fraction, not a decimal, in a case where you would need one, so it's going to be 9/7. Let me erase out everything I just wrote. Check my answer. All right, so that part's good. Range. This part's a little easier because I don't need to figure out a fraction. Range, let's change the color. The lowest it is a y value here, or I'm sorry, a d value there. Your distance from home, the least it is 0. So the low value is 0, and then the high value is up here, and that would be 9. So you're 9 miles away from home at the longest distance. Can you imagine walking 9 miles home from the library? Wow. Okay, so b 0 is less than or equal to d, just normally your y value, which is less than or equal to 9. That's what we're going to type in on this one. So 0 less than or equal to d less than or equal to 9. All right, let's check our answer on that. Clear out our work for that one. Okay. Part B says find the x-intercept of the graph. Select the choice below, and if necessary, fill in the box. Okay. There is an x-intercept, and we already found it essentially. That was this point here, and the ordered pair, well, it's 9/7 0, right? And it's 9/7 0 because that's the t value when d is 0. So we're going to enter it in. Notice how the directions say to enter this one as an ordered pair. And then we're going to use fractions as well. So an ordered pair, the first term is a fraction, so it'll be 9/7. And then 0 would be the next term. Out of that, let's check our answer. All right, so that part's good. Let's erase. And then it's going to ask about to find the y-intercept. The y-intercept does exist, right? We already talked about it essentially. That is the point all the way up here. The y-intercept is the order pair 0, 9. Okay, so again, it's going to ask us to enter the y-intercept as an ordered pair of 0. Okay. Check our answer on that. That's good. Okay, explain the meaning of any intercepts in this context. So again, the y-intercept is where you start. So that means you're 9 miles away from home when you start walking home. The x-intercept is this point here, which again we figured out was 9/7 0. And the context of that point is by the time you got home, so you're home when the distance from home is 0, it took you 9/7 of an hour, so a little more than an hour to walk home. And actually that means you probably walked pretty fast if you're walking that 9 miles. I'm sorry, it took you 9/7 of an hour, yeah, to walk 9 miles. That's you're basically jogging at that point, I suppose. All right, so it says the x-intercept means the distance from home to the library is blank miles. No, the x-intercept is telling you how long it took you to get home. So let's look at answer choice B. It says the y-intercept means the distance from home to the library is. That's true, because remember, the y-intercept is showing you how far you are from home when you start walking. So B is going to be your answer. And again, you're 9 miles from home when you start walking. So that's what the y-intercept is showing you. The x-intercept shows you how long it took you to get home. And that was 9/7 of an hour. So again, a little more than an hour. All right, let's check our answer. Looks good. Let me know if you have other questions.